Hey, 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 Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond sisters. It is another beautiful coffee chat with Donna day. Another gorgeous morning, even though the clouds are out a little bit and it's drizzling here in New York. I am just so happy because it's in the 50s and today it's going to get in the 60s. And I couldn't wait to get here with you guys this morning on Coffee Chat, Jeep Ride, Car with Donna, because something came to light last night and I knew it was exactly the conversation that we needed to speak about today, and I knew I needed to share it with you. So before I go into that, hey Tina, so glad you're here. Before I go into that, for those of you who may or may not know exactly who I am and what I do, I'll give you a little background so you can see where my Coffee Chat with Donna methodology and what I'm sharing with you comes from. So I'm a licensed clinical social worker, aka therapist, as well as a rapid transformational relationship coach. And these days I'm practicing more on the rapid transformational coaching place because that's where I get the most transformation for my clients. So I've had clients that come to me in the coaching and we get more transformation in 12 weeks than they've gotten in 20 years of therapy. And I know why. I'm a therapist, so I could see the difference between how coaching helps someone versus therapy. And my program is I help women reclaim their brilliance post-divorce, fall in love with themselves, and if and when ready, be ready to attract their soulmate. So we do this in a 12-week rapid transformational course. And that's what brings me to the conversation for today is last night we have our group Q&A call. So I hold group Q&A calls every week so we can come together as a DG family, everyone who's in the program. This is where they get to be coached by me personally, by my team. We get to work through their issues and problems. And one of the things that came up on the table was this desire and this heart to move forward. Yet there's this little bit of sadness from the past. Hey, Janet, so good to see you. And what happens is there's this duality. I guess that's the best, right? So there's this heart to move forward. There's this hope for the future. And yet there's a part of you with a sadness and a melancholy from the past. And one of the things that we were speaking about in yesterday's group Q&A calls, and for those of you who are just joining me, I was explaining today's Coffee Chat with Donna was coming from my group Q&A call last night that I had with my clients. And one of the things that was put on the table is that the melancholy of the heart is going to be there, and that's okay. And that we've got to die to our old self in order to become alive in our new self. Right? So as we're stepping out of the life that we've had, we die from that self and we step into a brand new life of our new self. Hi, Charlene. So good to see you. And one of the things that's so important is that we as women tend to create stories and we tend to make meaning out of our feelings. So instead of just allowing ourselves to be there in the moment, extending the grace, extending the heart to say, even though you may not even be in love with your ex-husband, you may hate your ex-husband, you may want to wring his neck, you may just be so frustrated and angry at the betrayal, but there's an identity of you, right, that you may be looking back upon and say, I miss that, I miss those times with my family, or I miss the way that was. And then our mind will go in and say, well, don't think that, or think something else, or feel bad for thinking it. And what I want to extend the grace to you today is it's okay to think it. It's okay to be sad because you lost a part of an identity that was a part of you. Essentially, that was you, that is you. And so when you allow yourself just to experience the melancholy or experience that level of your heart without any condition, just be it, right? Just like if you had your child that fell on their bike, you're not going to make a whole story of why they did or why they didn't or how they're feeling or how they're not. You just be there with them and you're like, it's okay, honey, right? You're rubbing their scrapes. You let them know, get up, let's get on the bike and let's do it again. It's the same thing with us. It's okay to feel the melancholy, but it's also important to remember that you are stepping into a new life. So if you are creating a new personal reality, then it makes sense. We've got to create a new personality, right? If we're going to create a whole new personal reality, we've got to step into a personal reality. We're dying to the old self of who we were, what we tolerated, how we were allowing him or others to treat us, what we were minimizing, and now we're stepping into a new personal reality which puts us in identity of our divine self, into our soul brilliance, into claiming what it is we want and being able to say, I want XYZ. I want a good life. I want a partner who loves me and who adores me and who treasures me. I want to be making more money than I know what to do with. I want health and wealth. I want my children to be happy. I want my family relationships to be mended. I want to be stepping in grace. And it's not about the material things, because happiness is always is inner, right? It's never outer, even though we feel like it comes from material things. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy material things. I am one that loves nice things. I'd rather buy one piece of quality than 10 pieces of not quality. So, but my value isn't in the things I own or the things I have. My value is in who I am as a person, is my identity. So when you're stepping into this new personal reality, you can't be using the same thinking that you came from. And so now this is the part that we get to say, God, thank you. I am so grateful, because I know now what I want by experiencing what I don't want. You have clarity, you have contrast. And so today's coffee chat message, in summary, is to allow yourself to feel the melancholy of the past when it comes up, to feel that heart if it feels sadness to the identity that you once were, but then also to step into the glory of the identity that you are becoming, the identity that you are choosing, the woman who you are choosing to become. Because guys, I'm going to be honest with you, there are not many people in this world who get a second chance at this thing called life and doing it our way and doing it in a way that we want. And you don't need to be victimized by the past, even if there's outside circumstances that feel overwhelming, even if there's financial issues or job issues, or if your ex-husband's a narcissist, or there's control issues. You could still thrive and have an amazing life in spite of the circumstances that you're facing, because your circumstances don't define your life. You define your life. Your circumstances are just your circumstances. We can handle those. But you've got to decide your identity. Are you going to identify with a woman who's been broken, whose heart is struggling, who is, kind of has her life together in most areas, but this relationship thing keeps going and now you've become accustomed to it? It's become sort of normal. Are you going to be the woman who's going to tolerate the way you were treated in the past and not really standing up and asking for what you want? Or are you going to be the woman who says, I may not know how to get there, but what I shit sure know is that I'm not where I was, but I know I need to go somewhere. I'm not sure how to get there. I'm smart enough and intelligent enough to know that I don't want to repeat the same mistakes that I did, and I want to create where I want to go, and I want to create it in a way that is the most powerful for my soul, the most powerful for my heart, the most powerful for my journey. And this is a journey of looking within and not comparing. This is one thing that we will do, is we will compare to other women and we will compare to other people of what their life looks like, and then make sweeping judgments of if it's good or bad. I mean, you may see a couple at a store and say, wow, look how she's got what I want, but you don't really know that, because what happens if that guy is just an asshole and he treats her like shit and that's their one night out? So we're making these judgments. And so when you're looking at things, look for references and look for anchors without comparison, more like with gracious respect. Like, wow, I respect that couple, that there's couple, because if they could be a couple, so could I. That means that there's hope for me. God is no respecter of persons. This thing called life is not meant for some to have a little and you to have nothing, or everybody here has the same opportunity to get the life that they deserve and that they want, and that is calling from them, from God's heart, from your heart. The difference is you've got to be willing to take the risk. You've got to be willing to step in the unknown. You've got to be willing to do the work, and you could have what it is you want, but you got to do the work. So guys, with that said, guess where I am? I'm at Starbucks getting my coffee for the coffee walk. I guess I'm doing it backwards. Should I get coffee first, then do the walk? But I'm doing it opposite. So, See you guys later. Casey, you want to say goodbye to our friends? My COO of operations. Case, want to say goodbye? There's Casey. She says goodbye. Mwah. See you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.